It's a lot of things that will make you buckle, bro.
For years, the entertainment world, especially the hip-hop scene, has thrived on exclusive parties that promise wild nights and no-limits fun. Sometimes that fun is just top-shelf liquor and loud music. But rumors have long hinted that certain A-listers, from major rappers to record execs, hosted private after-parties where the real drama unfolded. These whispers didn't arise overnight. People have been talking in hushed tones about secret rooms, questionable deals, and even more questionable behavior for decades. The list of rumored attendees is a who's who of rap royalty, from moguls like Diddy to artists whose public images scream macho bravado, like Busta Rhymes. Still, nobody wanted to go on record until now. In recent months, that code of silence has started to crack. The spotlight on Diddy's legal troubles and FBI raids has triggered a domino effect. People are stepping up, tying Busta's name to the same extracurricular activities that Diddy is being accused of. And for the first time, these stories are being shared without the usual fear of career ruin. But that wasn't the whole story, because the more we dig, the more we discover when Orlando Brown started spilling the tea about his run-ins with high-profile celebrities, most of the industry rolled their eyes. People pointed to his past issues, claiming he wasn't credible. But then he named names, famous ones, including Busta Rhymes. Brown described a whole network of powerful figures engaging in questionable behavior behind closed doors. He didn't mince words about the kind of exploitation he says he witnessed and experienced. While the mainstream was quick to dismiss him, smaller platforms and certain pockets of social media started connecting the dots between Brown's allegations and older, unverified rumors. It's easy to label him as attention-seeking, but Brown doubled down in subsequent interviews, delivering coherent, detailed stories that matched timelines other insiders had alluded to. Suddenly, what seemed like outrageous claims started lining up with the puzzle pieces from the Busta and Diddy saga. And what happened next would shock everyone. More people began to validate Brown's account, at least the parts about the behind-the-scenes culture that traps younger, vulnerable. So, what did go down at these infamous Diddy parties? And where does Busta Rhymes fit in? Insiders say these gatherings were more like testing grounds than simple celebrations. Young talent, desperate for connections, would be invited under the guise of potential collaborations. Some describe these events like a high-stakes game. Busta and Diddy, both with immense clout, zeroing in on newcomers who do almost anything to further their careers. There are stories of private rooms, ominous-sounding after-parties, and deals that weren't always about music. Could these accounts be exaggerated? Possibly. But when multiple people start painting the same picture, a scene of power, exploitation, and hushed secrets, it's harder to wave it all away as mere fiction, especially when every new voice seems to confirm the others. But that wasn't the whole story, because the allegations soon stretched far beyond party invites, touching on systematic power plays and the lengths some artists might go to keep big names happy. So, what did go down at these infamous Diddy parties? And where does Busta Rhymes fit in? Insiders say these gatherings were more like testing grounds than simple celebrations. Young talent, desperate for connections, would be invited under the guise of potential collaborations. Some describe these events like a high-stakes game. Busta and Diddy, both with immense clout, zeroing in on newcomers who do almost anything to further their careers. There are stories of private rooms, ominous-sounding after-parties, and deals that weren't always about music. Could these accounts be exaggerated? Possibly. But when multiple people start painting the same picture, a scene of power, exploitation, and hushed secrets, it's harder to wave it all away as mere fiction, especially when every new voice seems to confirm the other. Two stories in particular have caught the internet's attention. Model-turned-performer Don Benjamin was reportedly out with a group that included an openly gay lawyer, and that lawyer ended up being whisked away into Busta's private corner. Big homie CC claims Busta's security singled this individual out, pulling him into Busta's presence with alarming urgency, as if completing a well-rehearsed routine. Then, there's Trip Ali's account. a rapper hustling his way through New York, eager to network, finds himself in a bizarre encounter when Busta slides his hand into Tripp's during a chance meeting. Tripp initially saw it as a golden ticket. Maybe Busta would open industry doors for him. But the friend who was with Tripp wanted nothing to do with it, hurling money in Tripp's face rather than let him follow Busta to an exclusive after-party. Sounds like a moment ripped out of a scandalous TV script, but the consistency in these stories is striking. Each time, Busta spots someone he's interested in, and there's an immediate push to bring them into his circle. These aren't just random anecdotes. They align with the kind of behind-the-scenes maneuvering that's now at the heart of the bigger controversy. What's truly puzzling is how Busta's public image compares to what he's accused of doing in private. He has a reputation for being openly aggressive with women, lashing out at female fans, even throwing drinks if they cross his personal boundaries. The internet is flooded with clips of him losing his temper in public settings, sometimes over minor incidents. At first glance, such behavior suggests someone who's rigidly straight, perpetually on guard, and quick to react with aggression. But for critics, that aggression is starting to look like overcompensation, a way to keep prying eyes off other parts of his life. Case in point, in 2021, rumors swirled that Busta was spotted leaving a Pride event, looking anything but uncomfortable. Onlookers described him engaging positively with the crowd, a far cry from the homophobic slurs he'd allegedly hurled at a fast food worker years prior. To some, this was proof of a double life, while others argue he's simply more open-minded than people expect. Either way, the push and pull between Busta's public hostility and the alleged behind-closed-doors behavior is fueling the speculation that there's a lot more going on beneath the surface, and it's all starting to bubble to the top. Everything seemed to erupt when law enforcement raided Diddy's properties, supposedly confiscating tapes, recordings, and other evidence that could shine a light on what those private parties were really about. According to insiders, these seized materials point to a wide network of industry figures, Busta allegedly included, who shared more than music. As Diddy's legal troubles piled up, talk of a possible black book full of industry secrets began circulating. This isn't just a rumor. Multiple sources claim the FBI uncovered detailed records from those parties, including who attended, what happened, and possible proof of how young talents were treated. Faced with the prospect of real legal fallout, many in Diddy's circle began jumping ship or claiming they'd never been that close. Busta, it seems, was one of the first to distance himself. But the uncovered footage of him at those parties, plus the testimonies coming in from people like Big Homie CC, makes it harder to believe he was just an innocent bystander. There's a sense that the entire industry is holding its breath. If Diddy's camp starts cutting deals to reduce penalties, who else might get named? Fans are already raising suspicions on social media, pointing to Busta's increasingly defensive posture and calling him out for rewriting history. It's easy to wonder, if all this was so widespread, why didn't anyone say something sooner? The truth is, the music industry thrives on connections. If you get blacklisted by a powerhouse artist or mogul, good luck climbing the ladder elsewhere. According to multiple insiders, there was an unspoken rule. Stay in line, keep your mouth shut, and you'll enjoy VIP perks. Cross the line or speak out, and watch every door slam shut. This fear kept countless up-and-comers silent. Some who spoke up in private faced threats of lawsuits, career sabotage, or even physical intimidation. Busta's alleged public aggression might have been part of maintaining that fear factor. If he's willing to snap at someone in broad daylight for the smallest infractions, how far might he go behind the scenes? Now, with the FBI breathing down Diddy's neck, people sense a potential collapse of that entire power structure. When the top of the food chain starts to fall, everyone else scrambles to save themselves, or at least minimize the damage, and that might be why so many new voices are choosing this moment to speak up. So where does that leave Busta Rhymes? If these testimonies and alleged FBI evidence keep piling up, he might face a legal and public relations crisis of his own. Every day, more young artists and insiders seem emboldened to share their experiences, naming not just Diddy, but also Busta in the same breath. Some believe Busta could end up in court, either as a witness or a defendant in potential lawsuits brought by those claiming exploitation. Others speculate he might strike some sort of deal, offering information to protect himself if law enforcement zeroes in on him. Either way, the facade is cracking. The dual image of a star who publicly scolds and humiliates fans while privately orchestrating questionable VIP encounters is becoming harder to maintain. And as the hip-hop community and fans at large become more vocal about these issues, it feels like we've only scratched the surface of a bigger, darker story that's yet to be fully exposed. The question now is, how many more artists will come forward, and how long will Busta be able to deny the extent of his involvement in Diddy's world? Comment below with your thoughts. Are we witnessing the start of a massive reckoning that could shake the very foundations of hip-hop? Or is this just another storm that will pass once the headlines move on? Whatever the future holds, the message is clear. The old ways of silencing people and sweeping controversies under the rug might be coming to an end. Those who've been stuck in the shadows are finally stepping into the light, and if the allegations hold weight, no amount of public distancing or denial will shield Busta Rhymes from the fallout. Thanks for watching and sticking with me through this deep dive. The stories we've uncovered today are both shocking and unsettling, pulling back the curtain on a side of the industry many never wanted to see. Whether Busta Rhymes can outrun these controversies remains to be seen. Stay tuned for more updates as this situation unravels. I post new videos every week, revealing the truths and behind-the-scenes secrets of your favorite celebrities. If you don't want to miss what comes next, including any new developments in the Busta Diddy saga, make sure you're subscribed and have the bell notification turned on. Until next time, remember, in an industry built on image, there's often more than meets the eye, and sometimes the real story is the one everyone tried to keep hidden.